Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for August 24th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and with me today is Jacob Jones. How you doing, Jacob?
The finger of the people is back, folks. I am excited to be here. I always have fun with Taran in the mornings, and so yeah, it's just an amazing feeling. I was just telling Taran before we got on, and I don't know if y'all have picked this up, but I've been sussing something with Taran for a minute now, probably for like the last I don't know, like 4 days, 3 days, whatever the main days. But Taran has been a lot more airy, free, very I mean, you're a fun person, but just like you just exude like and so
Hmm.
I've been picking up on the energy. I think a lot of other people have. I don't know. But or probably I just never paid attention to you before. And so maybe you've like
You're finally taking a look at
I think
me.
so.
You know,
I think
you
so.
never paid attention before. You know what, Jacob Jones? It's too late. I go with the people who always saw me for who I was.
Dang.
You
You
waited for
just
the glow up.
I
You waited too
did.
long.
I did. Now it's nothing I can really do. But no, I've been sensing. I'd be like, yo, is Taryn like taking a tequila shot before he gets on? Like, what's going on? But no, but we talked about it and everything like that. You've always been a fun person. Don't take that as or no one else takes that as, oh, Taryn has been no, Taryn's always been fun. But it's just something like, I don't know, you just add an extra bit of va boom to your I don't know. I feel the juice that you have.
Yeah, what I told Jacob is that I think that as the amount of strategy to talk about in the house decreases, the amount of that I need to bring to the table in these podcasts increases. So
Taryn, can you do that sound effect one more time, please?
it was a one-time deal, Jacob Jones. It exists. It exists as it is, unique,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe someday it'll come up naturally again, but
Okay.
that's where it is.
I'll just play that part back like 10 times afterwards.
There you
It'll be
go.
okay.
Don't get too excited. So we are here to talk about everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 23 live feeds. It was day 48 in the house, and as alluded to, not a lot, not a lot
Mm-hmm.
going on anymore.
Yeah, quite a pity party to a certain extent, but I kind of expected that. It was a much more somber tone to the house today, as lieu of the veto ceremony. And so yeah, it wasn't that much going on. It was the acceptance of fate for the most part, but it was also what can we do. But it wasn't that much action on the what can we do part. We are only on Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday. So I don't know if many things will change, but I think we will hopefully get some more game talk today, with just things in place and kind of people shift and move how they want to. So yeah.
Yes, indeed. So of course, Sarah Beth is our HOH, and maybe not our HOH, but she is
No,
the
she's
HOH.
Taryn. Okay, are you pissed off about this HOH? Is HOH like rain?
I mean, I think that she is making a horrible mistake
Okay,
for her game.
okay. At least you're thinking of her game. At least okay. I can feel you on that. But I mean, so she's not your HOH though.
I mean, she's given me a lot to talk about this week. I'll give you
So
that.
she's your HOH.
She's not my HOH. I'm not in
No,
the
she
house.
is, Taryn. No, she is. She's your HOH. She's our HOH. But continue.
Okay, so Jacob Jones, are you starting this podcast off? Are you a Sarah Beth defender?
I don't want to publicly say that. I'm
Ah!
not. I'm pleading the fifth. I am pleading the fifth. This. Terrence trying to get
Uh-oh.
me. Terrence trying to get me getting thrown
Uh-oh.
rotten tomatoes on here. I'm not trying to have it. Am I a Sarah Beth defender? Mm.
You're watching Sarah Beth celebrating to the cameras after she backdoors Derek X, and you're like, yeah, go Sarah Beth. Oh boy. Uh-oh. The
Are
the
you not?
chat tide is turning.
Wait, are you not?
Am I not a Sarah Beth fan? I mean, I'd be more of a Sarah Beth fan if she was a better player. I think.
Okay, Taryn. Everyone's okay. I don't have an excuse for that. But again, I'm not a Sarah Beth defender. I am just a Sarah Beth empathizer.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's better.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
fair. And like I do think, like I actually I like Sarah Beth the person. She seems really cool. Sarah Beth the game player definitely has fallen pretty flat here this week.
Yeah.
But I do feel for I think she's going to be pretty hurt about the Kylan stuff, and she's definitely she's going to be taking a strategic analysis beating when she realizes the mistake that she made this week. And I think she's probably, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think she's probably the kind of person that would be like, oh, I screwed up so bad.
Yeah, kind of what I feel like. I don't think DS screwed up that bad the prior weeks, but I think he's kind of been going through that this week as well, which is like, dang it, if I didn't do this, probably this wouldn't happen. But we are in the position that we are in right now, so what can we really do about it?
So we started the morning here. Derek is going to make one last pitch to Sarah Beth prior to the veto ceremony. She is, of course, the HOH. She is planning to backdoor Derek when Xavier uses the veto on himself. And Derek knows that this is coming, so he tries to give one last pitch before the ceremony. He basically, it's a pitch to save himself, but it's also a pitch to Sarah Beth that like, you're in danger, girl.
It was like he wanted to shake her. Like,
Yeah.
Can you listen to me and take in what I'm saying? Yeah.
He says, look, not only were Alyssa and Xavier trying to flip the vote the week that you were on the block and they thought you were going to go up against Big D, but others were on board to flip that vote as well. A lot of people in this house wanted you gone. Those people are still looking to target you. Like, you need to be extremely careful about your position in this game. I know that you're worried about me having connections, but if you put Hannah on the block and Hannah goes home, then I lose my closest person. I don't have anywhere else to go but work with you guys, which is what I will do. I promise you, I am not coming for you. I will give you a guaranteed at least 3-week deal. I will use the coin of destiny in a way that benefits you. This is what I can offer. Do not be tricked by other people convincing you're in a good position, because you are not.
And I thought DX was telling the truth for everything he was saying. And I believed in what he was saying. And I think he also told this to someone else. I don't know who, but he said, I wouldn't put up Sarah Beth if she didn't put me up today. I believe it was Azza, I'm thinking. But I was like, I mean, DX you got up bright early in the morning before Sarah Beth even had an opportunity to brush her teeth and was going to game. And I thought I was kind of seeing like Sarah Beth's wheels turn, like maybe she is buying into what he's saying, but when Kylan came in, that was kind of snuffed and it was kind of all null and void. But good pitch on Derek X's behalf. And he tried to do everything he could at that moment, and it just, we'll see how it pans out later. But yeah, I liked his outlook on this, and him even being like, oh, you put Hannah on the block and she will go home, probably if you want her to be your next target, kind of like nulling that relationship to Sarah Beth. And I was thinking, people were like on Twitter saying, oh my goodness, he's throwing Hannah under the bus. I'm like, Hannah kind of in a way told him to. Hannah also was like, oh, maybe I should go up there and rip her letter to get myself on the block because she'll be safe. And so it was nothing out of DX actually wanting Hannah to leave. It was more about like, hey, this is a person that could go on the block, but other than me, that could probably stay with the votes that they already have. And so it didn't work out, but good pitch on his part.
Yeah, Tiffany and Hannah both, were on board with this idea that if he can get Hannah on the block instead of himself, that they were cool with that. In fact, they wanted that because that would mean that Derek is safe and that Claire would go home. Yeah. But it's honestly, it's an admirable pitch, and he does get her to think, at least, which is a lot. I mean, a lot of times, somebody makes a pitch and they're just like, oh, finally they're out of the room. Sarah Beth does actually, she goes, okay, let me think about this for a second. She, runs through scenarios. She's trying to count like how many people would be keeping me safe if Derek stays in the house, maybe a little bit more, but nah, because then, I might not have these people. Nah, the numbers don't work out. Numbers don't work out for Derek, and I don't trust him to not come after me. That's the biggest. I do not trust him, and the numbers do not work. She cannot see. She cannot see the truth here.
I mean, she turned on the camera looking at the memory wall after DX left in her robe, and she was like, Azza would probably be targeting Kylan, but I think I'm good with Azza. Then went to Big D and said, well, I think Big D would probably go after Tiffany and Claire, which we all know. And then Kai won't put her up, obviously. And then who else is left? Claire would put her up, her and Kai up, I think. And then Alyssa and X, now they have that alliance, but she feels good with them. And then the next person we have is Tiffany and Hannah, which she thinks, oh, they'll definitely put her up on the block. And so it's a lot more people, baby, that not baby, Sarah Beth. That was my empathy card coming out. First one is baby. It's like, oh, I want to bring you closer. I just want to cuddle you and that.
All right, Kylan.
No, bad, Taran, literally. And so I really got that from today. Like, people were saying, oh, like, I got what Kylan was doing in certain ways about how he like hugs people, and when he like even when he came into the room with Sarah Beth, like he asked Sarah Beth, oh, where were you sitting? And then Sarah Beth was like, oh, I was standing. And then Kylan sat on the bed. Sarah Beth sat on the bed. Kylan then scooted closer. And I was like, wow. And then Sarah Beth got up because she hasn't brushed her teeth yet. But I was like, dang, Kylan, like, you want to be physically close to the person when you're speaking. I got it. Like, I don't know. It was sick, twisted, but also beautiful. And I can't call Kylan actions beautiful because people all dog him all the time. But I mean,
he's a beautiful man.
Very beautiful man. But I mean, I'm just like, I got what he's doing. When you want to be like mentally close with someone, I'm guessing, or emotionally close, you want to be physically close with them as well. And so, like, I kind of got it a little bit. What Kylan has been doing these last, how many days we've been in this house? 59, 48?
Today is day 48, or yesterday was day 48. So today would be
49. So if we see him hugging, rubbing feet, we know what he's doing. That was like a tangent on that part, but yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, and the biggest thing for me is that she genuinely thinks that Big D will go after Claire, like, over her. Why would he go after Claire? He's been on the block next to Claire like 2 weeks in a row. And the people that put him on the block next to Claire are Kylan and Sarah Beth. But yeah, of course he'll go after Claire, the person who clearly has no capital. So, like, again, I'm ignoring the fact that the cookout exists and just trying to get on her level, which is already a wrong level to begin with, because of that. But even if you ignore the fact that the cookout exists, then Claire clearly has no agency in this game. She's been on the block. Why would he go after his blockmate and not go after the people that have been putting him on the block? It makes no sense. And the reason why she thinks that, of course, is because Kylan isn't here. Like, no, we got Big T. Don't worry about it.
No, we got it. A blockmate. I don't think I've heard of it. Probably it's been used before, but that's the first time I've heard of that. Yeah, kind of like a blockmate. Yeah, I mean, what you just said makes sense. But I mean, I don't even get why Sarah Beth thinks that they have Derek X besides what Kylan has been preaching to her. And so, like, she's highly under the influence of Kylan's mist. You know what I mean? And I guess his long hugs and his scooting next to her on the bed and putting, just everything is really getting to her. And we've seen that this week. And so, yeah.
Must be the whispers.
I know it must be the whispers there.
She tells Kylan that, look, she says, I would feel bad if I put my faith in Big D and then he nominated us with the Coin of Destiny. But I would feel way worse if I trusted Derek and he did it to us.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
What kind of logic is that?
Yeah.
It's like you see this sort of thing all the time, actually, because it's about how people feel about their moves. And that's why it's important to not just look at incentives in terms of what's actually rationally best for somebody, but also incentives about emotionally what can they handle. And emotionally, she feels like if she puts her trust into Derek X and he comes after her. It's the same sort of reasoning that Derek X used with Christian, where it's like, if I trust him and then he comes after me, that's going to feel worse than if I take my shot now, because I'll feel like I've missed my shot. And she'll feel the same way. She'll feel like, oh, I missed my shot at Derek X, and then he came around and stabbed me. And like all the train is already moving this way. So it's almost like there's less responsibility for her to allow the train to continue in that direction than to stop the train, spin it around the other way, and the way that it was going was the correct direction, right? And so she's like, I'd feel so much worse if Derek X did that to us. But it's like, if you do look at it rationally, it's the exact same results. So it really shouldn't be a factor here. But that's the way that she feels. And here we go.
I love that you sombered that, but that's the way that she feels. Tara, that was very sweet of you. You like had all this like game bodiness too. Like, this doesn't make sense. But then you sombered your tone and like, sobered up and just softened your approach. It was like, well, that is the way she feels. Dang.
I mean, it's true though, and I'm certainly not even saying that I'd be susceptible to it. Like, when I play, games like Among Us, like, there are people that I'd prefer to be tricked by. Like if Jacob, you have an immense charisma about you. If you tricked me into thinking that you weren't an imposter when you were, I'd be like, Jacob Jones got me. But if somebody with less charisma did, I'd be like, no, I'd feel worse about it.
Okay, that makes sense. But you still feel like Boo Boo anyways, right? I was about to say SHIT, but I didn't want to say that, so the next word was Boo Boo for me. I still refer to my Boo Boos as Boo Boos, but yeah, and so yeah, you'll still feel like and so I guess it kind of makes sense. You would rather be fooled by the more so.
Well, sometimes in this case, I think it's the opposite. Is that with Derek X, with all of his social charisma, you don't want to be the person that got lulled in by that, right? Yeah.
I don't know, Taran. I can only defend Sarah Beth so much, but it just really didn't make sense I don't know.
No, I mean, it's like I said, it's terrible logic. It's,
not terrible.
Chappelle says this is an attack on him. Absolutely. If I get tricked by Chappelle, that would hurt more because Chappelle's on me all the time about being an imposter.
He really is. TBH.
Whereas I have tricked Jacob many times. So I wouldn't feel as bad if he tricked me back.
And that has broken my trust with you. I'm not even going to lie or front or like put on a smile and act happy with you. That has like.
I tricked you out of love, Jacob. Nobody should feel like a fool for believing in me, says Kyland.
Continue. Are you the new Kyland, Taran?
That's what Kyland is going to say to Sarah Beth, right?
No, but are you the new Kyland?
Am I the new Kyland? I hope not.
Okay. It wouldn't be that bad of a thing, but I guess.
Okay. If I was Kyland, you'd actually like me more because you're a Kyland fan.
I was a Kyland fan. I'm much less
not a Kyland empathizer.
Thank you, Taran. Thank you.
So of course Xavier is going to take himself off the block. Derek X is going to go up as his replacement, and there it is. Derek X now on the block. Not looking good for Derek here. He's going to talk with Claire. And they're kind of lamenting, like, where did we lose the thread of this game? Like, we thought we were doing so well, and now we're on the block together. Like, what did we do wrong? And Claire's like, I think we just needed to win more, I guess. And Derek's like, I should have told Hannah to save her money and not play in that roulette competition. It's if everything would have been different if she had won that roulette competition that she didn't actually even play in. I think that Derek is I mean, we talk about how Sarah Beth's going to be really salty. I think that Derek's going to be real salty with Hannah about specifically about this roulette competition. The fact that she convinced him not to play, she said, "You don't play, I'll play," and then didn't play. I think he's going to be like, "What the hell?"
You think so? I don't
I
think
think
so
he's
for
going to be.
TBH.
I think that look. I think Derek X is not the kind of person that is a salty person in general.
Mhm.
But to the degree that he can be salty, I think that he's gonna be like, really, Hannah? Like, how is that even good for your game? And she's not gonna have an answer for it.
Okay, I can
So
see that more. Yeah, okay, I guess. But I don't know. I still probably can't. I'll say like, really, Hannah, you did that to me. Oh, come here. But that's about it. But this
are you
scene
a, are
was
you a are you a Derek X and Hannah empathizer?
no, no, I'm not. I mean I like them both individually, but when people ship them together, I'm just like, uh, I guess I ship him and Claire more than him and Hannah, tbh. But when Hannah and when Claire and DX were in the bed, they were kind of just like, we have no shot of winning this game as well. And so kind of accepting that fate and like, what can we possibly do? And then it was the big hug fest at that point. But then Ozza and Tiffany joined in. It was a cute, very like heart filling moment because like Derek X is just like, you could just tell even when he had that conversation with SB, coming back from the veto, him laying in the bed with Claire, it was just like I feel like all the air was taken out of his game. He was like, where can I actually go from here? And then, but it was dope to see them like poking fun at each other because even Claire made a comment. She was like, yeah, you should just like chill. Like people would like be okay if you just like, what is it when you're like mope around or something like that? She was like, yeah, people would be okay if you have a moping day. And then he was like, I bet you will like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And so it was just like the fun moment of that was just like so cute. But no, I am not a Claire, and I mean they're cute, but like I'm a type of person, if you want it, go get it. You know what I mean? And so are you a DX and Hannah flirt man stan shipper?
No,
Do you really ship flirt manches?
Do I ship?
Yeah.
I no, I'm not really. I honestly, I feel a little weird about the ship stuff.
Hmm.
Personally, I think it's a
Yeah.
little weird to sort of like. I get like I get being excited for young
Yeah.
love. But the shipping for me is like taking two people that are not necessarily in love and
Yeah.
hoping that they fall in love, which
Hmm.
is a little bit different. But
Hmm.
like when Kevin and Peely and Big Brother Canada were
Mm.
were like flirting and getting together, I was like, oh, that's cute, right? Like
Really?
this is fun, and now I continue to say that they're cute,
They're
um,
very cute.
very cute. But yeah, but taking two people that are not necessarily together and kind of hoping that they get together, a little bit different.
We seen, oh, I guess we only seen two people kiss in this game, Alyssa and Christian. I was like,
Oh no,
what happened to
Kylan and Big
oh
D.
yeah, that very much the televised moment. Um but I feel like I want to see much more like, DX before you leave,
Get
you
kissing.
know. TBH, what do you have to lose?
Who's the top contender? Who should he kiss?
Mm. Tearing that's spicy. So I think him and Claire, I don't know, they were like joking and like do all yesterday, and so I'm kind of liking their vibe. But Hannah, everyone's like, oh, kiss Hannah, and so I mean, if you want to go for a two, I mean,
Okay, so no shipping, but you are down to
I ship,
try and
I
get
sh-
what is it,
like a
a
throuple.
a a, a kip, a kiss ship,
Well, I am down
trying to
for a
ship a
kiss
kiss.
ship. I'm a ship a kiss, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Not just a kiss, Taryn though.
Ooh.
Oh, wait. No, because a kiss. No, because a kiss is just like a
Okay.
tiny, like, you know,
Like what a cat does.
yeah.
Yeah.
Grab my
Okay.
tongue, pull it out. Yeah.
All right. Well,
What a cat
Kyland,
does.
Xavier, Sarah Beth, and Alyssa are finally going to get together. It's the four of them. It's Kyland, Sarah Beth, Xavier, Alyssa. They've been talking about getting together as a four. They finally do, and they name their alliance, their new official alliance, the Monarchy. And
Cute name.
yeah, there you go. This is actually kind of interesting because this is the first alliance in the house, and it's a fake alliance, but it's the first alliance in the house that is like a named alliance, that is like an actual, somewhat of an actual thing for some of the people in it, at least. First one that does not include Tiffany since the Slaughterhouse.
Wow,
So
great point out. Dang, I
yeah,
didn't even pick
it's
up on that.
it's sort of an example of how, as she has, been dedicated to the cookout, and we've been saying that this is sort of causing her hold on the game to slip a little bit. This is an example of that. There is now an alliance that is in the house that she is not a part of. And that was so far out of the realm of possibility even just a few weeks ago.
No,
So
yeah, it definitely was.
yeah.
Dang, I didn't even recognize that this is like the first one out of Tiffany's kind of hold in this. I mean, but I get that it's fake, but like how fake is it? If I mean, even though it was created yesterday, I feel like if it was true, like, oh, this isn't has no weight, does not hold anything, that X or Kylan would tell some of the cookout besides just themselves. And so I was kind of like, I mean, obviously they have some buy into it because it could help them if Alyssa wins HOH. It could help Kylan and Xavier more. But I was just like, I get it's fake, but like, how fake is it actually? And we've heard Kylan in previous times saying like, hey, it would probably be better if X, Y, and Z works out, in front of the cookout. And so it's just like, I get it's fake, but how fake is it, do you think?
Well, it's kind of like based on the kinds of arguments that Kyland had to make in order to get Sarah Beth to go in the direction he wanted to go this week. The logical conclusion to that, because again, like Sarah Beth, I think, and we'll talk about this tonight as well. I think Sarah Beth is running an all-time bad HOH this week. But I actually don't think she's a terrible player. I think that she has just been completely snowed by Kyland, and that she has not been putting enough effort into the game. She's not been playing hard enough. She's actively wanted to avoid playing hard enough, and that's why she's so lost in this game right now. But because of that, she's not just somebody that can, like, despite the fact that she's blindly following orders from Kyland, he has to sort of set the game up in a way that makes sense for somebody who is still a player of the game. And so it only makes sense that if she's going to go in this direction, that logically she would need to then make an alliance with Alyssa and Xavier, and that these people, as the people who have won all the competitions so far, basically, if Derek X leaves, that they would team up and have some kind of, at least uneasy agreement or alliance to keep each other safe moving forward. Now, obviously, it's fake in the sense that Kyland is still looking to get Sarah Beth evicted as early as next week. And Xavier is still looking to get Alyssa evicted. But I do think that, again, this is a scenario now where, Tiffany has already given up her sort of like structure for the cookout. And so in that void where Tiffany's structure once existed, they are now filling that void with a new structure that they, Xavier and Kylan, I think, would both probably be cool with running this structure to the end, if not for the cookout as well. And now they are also going to be giving up their structure, assuming that they actually do, to go back toward the cook. So Tiffany actively sacrificing her game for the cookout has led her here, and that has allowed them to build something up here. And now they are likely going to be rebounding back in the same direction, also doing the same thing that Tiffany did, giving up some of this structure, because this is a very good structure for them. I mean, Sarah Beth and Alyssa, Xavier and Kyland, they could run that down to at least 6 or so and have a really good chance. All Xavier or Kyland needs to do is snipe out the other one, and they're in a pretty prime position to do well here. Whereas, granted, the cookout structure is not terrible for them either. It's worse for Kyland. But it's interesting here as we see this game sort of flow in different directions. And this is the direction that is going here. But it is also kind of like, I don't know that they fully thought it through. Again, what if Alyssa wins HOH next week?
Mhm.
What if the coin of destiny falls through? What if Alyssa wins HOH the following week? What if Xavier, as he intends to do, wins HOH
Mm.
next week, takes out Claire? Now, how do you convince Claire and Sarah Beth to target each other at 8?
Yeah.
How do you do that? That's tough. What if,
Mm.
and they'll both be, so if Xavier wins, because this is what Xavier wants, he wants to win next week, take out Claire, then the following week, he'll be on the block as the third nominee. And both Sarah Beth and Alyssa will be competing in the HOH. Xavier will not be competing in the HOH. And if either Alyssa or Sarah Beth wins, then they're not targeting each other because they're now in an alliance.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to put each other on the block, which means
Mm.
only cookout members would touch the block without even any weird competition outcomes. And now Xavier's on the block next to potentially other cookout members. Like it's just getting a little tricky here, and I'm not sure that they're. I feel like the overconfidence is setting in because things have been going so unbelievably well. They're just kind of like nothing can go wrong.
Mm.
But you need to consistently remain paranoid and on top of these niche outcomes because they can happen, and I think that they should be preparing for them a little better.
That was a great breakdown of it. So
Yeah. All right. So we are also going to get some talks. Kyland is going to talk with Derek. Last week, Kyland was very specific with Brittany about, hey, you should have talked to me before. You should talk to me before you do any campaigning against me. This is apparently not a one-off. This is Kyland's go-to strategy. He's going to say to Derek, there may come a time where it feels like it makes sense for you to start campaigning against Sarah Beth. I would recommend you talk to me before you do that.
It was very annoying. It was so annoying. I try to like Kylan so bad, but he has done so many of these type of things, and just this whole conversation, he was even like, yeah, I don't think we should be even having this conversation right now. I think maybe tomorrow or later on, but and then just even about the voting situation, it was just like Kylan, like. Really? And I just felt so bad for DX in this moment. And I guess I'm a DX empathizer now because I'm just like, yo, you're not getting anything straight from Kylan. He's kind of just doing what his Kylanisms that he typically does, and when he feels like he's in power in his conversations. And it just can be off-putting. And I just wasn't here for this conversation at all. And this is the entitlement of maybe you should talk to me about this before you come at. And then Derek X made a comment saying, oh, well, do you think I can come at Sarah Beth without coming at you directly? And he was like, see, that's hard. And it's just like, Kylan, stop.
Why? It doesn't matter. He can campaign whatever he wants to campaign. You guys are locked in.
Literally. And it's just why. My question is why with him, right? And then he even got onto Hannah later on that night and he was like, well, why are you giving him false hope? I'm like, Kylan.
The jury management here is really bad, and we'll talk about it a little more as well. Big D talks to Xavier, and he does bring up the possibility. He's like, what if we did keep Derek around? He's going after Sarah Beth, and I really want Sarah Beth. Kylan needs to lose his person already. And Xavier says, nah, he's too good at competitions. He's got to go. He's going to get the coin of destiny. Remember, he's got the money. He's got to go. He's like, okay.
I mean, this is so weird coming from DF. Or do you call him Big D?
I call him Big D.
Okay, it's so funny coming from Big D because this, as he said, this is his plan. This is his plan that he birthed and that he breathed. And even when Ozza came to him with a kind of a, maybe if we do, you cannot turn against my plan. I've been setting this thing in motion from day 0 until now, and you better not get up, Ozza. And it was just so funny coming from Big D because it's like you're the same one that wouldn't even hear Ozza when she tried to pitch it to you because you were like, oh, this is my plan. I created this and you better not mess it up. And then here comes you bringing it to Xavier, even though I don't think it will be the worst thing for Big D's game if, if they kept, Baby D. But it was just so funny just to hear that from Big D. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah. Derek talks to Hannah, and he says that he's getting a feeling. He kind of feels like the four of he feels like Kyland, Xavier, Alyssa, and Sarah Beth. They might be working together. It's like they just solidified this, and he's already clocking it. Where's that energy with the cookout, bro? He says that he says they'll be very hard to stop if he's out of the house because they've won all the competitions. The four of them getting together. This is the thing. This is why these alliances are so effective. The cookout has never come together in a 6-person meeting. Never once have they had a 6-person meeting. Derek X is going to clock 2 separate things. And it's because they get together in meetings. It's like 4 of them just went together in a meeting. The 3 of them just went together in the meeting.
Yeah, I mean, he clocked it right when the guys came out of the or I think it was Alyssa too, came out of the have not room and other comments like that. But that's funny that you bring up where was this with the cookout, bro? And you was like the cookout have not had a full person like alliance, but I was looking forward to that one day that I think they had so much turmoil that they were like, we're waking up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. and we're having this damn meeting. I was looking forward to that and hoping that would happen, but yeah, the cookout hasn't had that, and DX eyes are open to the monarchy, the monarchy, and his eyes is open to that. So it's like it's funny to see his eyes being open to that, but not with the cookout, which is kind of brilliantly played out for the cookout. So,
he also talks to Tiffany. Derek talks to Tiffany. She says that she wants to flip the house for him. She wants to do it, but the only way they can make it happen is if it's her, Hannah, Azza, and Big D. And she tells him Big D is the holdup here. He is the biggest obstacle. If we can get Big D, we might be able to make this happen. So Derek goes to Big D and he pitches that, hey, you keep me around, you will have me in this game for the rest of the game. I will be working with you. I'll be working for you. Taking the shots that you want me to take. And Big D's like, I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
He'll think about it. Was this before? This was before Hannah came over and kind of prefaced the DX campaigning to Big D when Hannah told Big D, right? Because I know Hannah was like, "Oh yeah, he's coming over here. I feel bad because I'm kind of giving him false hope to talk to you and whatever." And Big D was waiting for it.
Yeah, Hannah's all over the place.
Yeah.
She's feeling very like she wants Derek to stay, but she also wants him to go, and she feels guilty about wanting him to go, and she is campaigning for him to stay, but then also sabotaging his attempts to campaign. It's very messy.
Yeah, and I think you said sad because I didn't view it as a sabotage in the moment, but now I view it as a sabotage just because I mean you come into Big D saying, hey, he's gonna pitch you this, like, and just giving him false hope, and I just don't know what to do. It's kind of like, oh, you're already kind of sinking the ship before he even gets the chance to go up to him himself. So I definitely see that, but I mean, Big D's not just lying down and dying, and even with Baby D, it's Derek. So confusing. But even with Big D having that little glimmer of, oh, maybe DX can stay. We can possibly work together on something. I don't think it'll be going anywhere with Baby D's pitch. So
I think the only way through here is if when Xavier's in solitary confinement, if Hannah actually starts having a consistent message and actually tries to campaign for Derek, her plus Tiffany, if they can get Azza back on board, they can push at Big D if they can prevent Kylan from interfering, then I think they could maybe make this happen, but it's very, very unlikely in my opinion.
What percentage do you give it?
I would say it's similar to the Christian percentage. Really, I mean, like less than 5%. It's a very similar situation where it would have to be Tiffany willing to really push hard to make something work, and they would need basically Big D's buy-in because Tiffany wasn't going to flip the vote without the Cookout's buy-in during the Christian week, and the same is probably true this week. we then get to Big D, Xavier, and Kylan. And this is the trio of cookout men. And Big D talks about how he really wants Sarah Beth out next week. And they just this is it's more sort of like patting each other on the backs, the three of us. How are we getting to the final three together, us men? Well, obviously, we're just gonna comp out. We've been carrying these women in this alliance. They can't win anything. We'll just win every single competition. Don't you realize once you get to the end, you play in every competition. There's no hope for them, says Xavier. They're not gonna be able to beat us. And Big D is gonna go on and on all day long about how, my back is breaking from carrying this alliance. And Xavier's gonna talk about how nobody can beat them in competitions. And it's these guys.
Did you see what Big D's like people that run his Twitter what they tweeted?
I did not know.
They said something to the point of because someone said Big D is thinking he's carrying the Cookout Alliance, and then they put that. I don't know if how hip you are with GIFs or GIFs, but it was that GIF of the woman having the math equations floating around, and she's like basically confused and delusion. And then someone quoted it with, "I'm so glad y'all have sense," or something like that, because he does it. And they're like, someone has to. But yeah, DX is very delusional in the being of, oh yeah, he's carrying this alliance on his back. And I think your analogy of Tiffany outside building the infrastructure, the house, even building an attachment, that was so brilliant, because she has the weight of the cookout. I would even give some to Kylan as well, and Xavier. But they have like the weight of Tiffany mainly, I feel as though, or mostly has the weight of the cookout and just like the planning and everything like that on her back. And so it's really funny that Big D thinks that he's the one carrying this alliance to victory with the torch in his hand, leading the charge, and it's none of the sort.
Yes. So. That's what they're up to. And Hannah is not impressed by Big D. She's going to be talking to other members of the cookout about how Big D is always talking about how he is carrying the cookout.
It's so funny that he says it to their face too. It's not even like he's trying to hide anything. It's like, yo, my back is literally breaking. I'm down to nubs. I've been carrying this alliance on my back, and I'm the only one doing stuff. It's like, no. Have some humidity. Wait, not humidity. Not humidity.
Have some humidity, guys.
Humble. What is it called, Taran?
Humility.
Humility. Yes. Have some humidity. Have some humidity.
It's funny too, because you're talking about Big D as he votes.
Humility. Have some humility, Big D.
There you go.
I guess I can get how he can get votes from Evic now. Humility.
Okay, well, Derek talks to Hannah again, and he noticed that the three of them, Big D, Xavier, and Kylan, were all in a room together. And he says, I think they're working together. I think they might be working together. Maybe what's happening is that Kylan and Xavier are trying to pull Big D into their foursome to make it a fivesome. And so watch out for that. And she should watch out for that.
Yeah.
Hannah talks to the cameras after. I feel so guilty. What I'm doing. I feel directly responsible for Derek leaving, but he has to go. I just feel so guilty.
For the cookout sake. It's for the cookout. It's for the greater good. That she preaches to herself to make herself feel better about the decision that she's making. You have to make yourself feel better if no one else is. And so I completely understand that. I do have a question for you though. Do you think Big D true allegiance is to the guys? Because I do.
Yes. I think his true allegiance is to Kylan first and foremost. I think that's one of the reasons why he wants Sarah Beth out.
I mean, that's his daddy. What do you mean?
Yeah. I think I mean, he even said when Frenchie left, he said Kyland was his new Frenchie. And he's basically been acting that way this whole time. So I think he's first and foremost loyal to Kyland. If Kyland told him he wanted to go after Xavier, I'm not sure. I think Big D would probably go along with it. But he is, I think, primarily against Tiffany and pro Kyland. Those are his two strongest sort of viewpoints, and then the rest of them are kind of in the middle. I think he would. I don't think he would turn on Azza, like straight up turn on Azza either. So she'd probably be like number 2, and then maybe like Xavier number 3, Hannah number 4, Tiffany number 5, something like that.
Yeah, I see someone in the chat saying Kylan still did that with a kiss.
Making it work.
Making it work. One kiss at a time.
So Derek is going to talk to Claire, and this was one of people's favorite conversations of the day. So
was it? Hold on, was it yours?
It was. Yeah, it was a fun conversation. I like this one.
I honestly, I was like, oh, okay. I like muted it.
Honestly. You hated this conversation.
I didn't hate it, but it was just like it got amplified a whole bunch on Twitter and whatnot. Oh my gosh! I'm like, I guess I'm just not really into the cutesy-ish with everything, and like I live in Upper East Side.
Well, let's not spoil the conversation with the negative recap first.
Do it the positive.
Jacob Jones coming in with all the hot takes today. So Derek, they still don't know what they did wrong. They felt so good in this game. I guess maybe they shouldn't have trusted Kyland. It's so annoying about Kyland because, and this is Derek and Claire again, Derek X and Claire. It's so annoying that they literally, Kyland screwed them over, and now they have to sit here and deal with him trying to like jury manage them for days. It's so annoying. Like he's so see-through in his jury management, and they're just so done with it.
They've been sensing this for weeks now.
Yeah, it's
so
he's the jury management not going super well for Kyland so far. So then they move on to talk about like what kind of secrets do we have in this house? And she says, well. And I'll give you this. This I actually did. I was actually like, what? She goes, I actually live on the Upper East Side.
What? No! You were in Gossip Girl. Literally.
I mean, like, this is one of the, like, I like New York. New York is fun.
I love New York.
That's the thing. There are some people who live in New York, I think, occasionally, in my opinion, take it a little too seriously. New York is their life. She lives on the Upper East Side. Oh, boy. Is that really that exciting?
No, it's not. I mean, unless you're like a Gossip Girl fan. Like the Upper East Side, XOXO, but it's not really that exciting. But when she said this though, I did kind of imagine her, in the Upper East Side, in her, as she claims it, like crappy apartment, watching Taran on Twitch, playing games and doing recaps. And so, but no, it's not all that. But DX reaction was. And so,
oh my god,
you were next to the president. Yeah, it was like, come on.
And she basically said that she didn't want people to think that she was rich, and that's why she didn't say that she lived on the Upper East Side. And he's like, I don't get that. You would have been fine. And then he's like, oh, but what about your job? Are you really like a QA tester? She's like, no. He's like, oh, I knew it. Says, I work on machine learning. And she says, you can't use this against me. He's like, what kind of pitch is that? Oh, she needs to go. She works on machine learning.
I literally, if someone had the reaction of like DX was like surprised, but also like, oh, like why would you lie about that? I feel like I would have the dumbest like look about like, oh, is that I feel dumb now lying about that for so long. I feel so it would take the it would just like take the air out of my balloons at that air out of my sails, they say.
Mm.
Yeah, it is like I mean, I don't first off, I don't get why. I guess if you're a lawyer, I can see more so why you would lie, but even not to the full extent. But yeah, I don't really get lie. You could just say, "Oh, I'm from New York." Where did she say she lived?
A different part of New York.
Oh, oh, I mean,
I don't remember which.
she probably could have lived there a year ago, but now just moved to Upper East Side like a year ago. Oh, yeah, that's why I didn't like this moment like you did, Taran, you stanner. And so I just was like, oh, okay.
Well, so he goes, okay, well, so what does your startup really do? She says, no, I don't work for a startup. I actually work for a big tech company. Oh, I'm so mad at you. You had such an elaborate description. Wait, you're right. I definitely would have thought you were more of a threat if you had told me all of this, he says.
But that's what her sister does, so that's how she knows
Yes.
about it all. And then when DX was like getting loud, she was like, shh, 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 shh.
Yeah,
Okay,
and then tells him her actual title, artificial intelligence engineer or whatever, and that and he's like, oh, we're definitely gonna be friends now. I mean, I like you more now, though. I'm not gonna lie. I love how like unashamedly like thirsty Derek X is for like having successful friends who can help him get a job.
thirsty. He's like, I have to plan for my life outside of Big Brother. Maybe I'll get some brand deals, maybe not, but I need a job. So yes,
Yeah.
come through. Wait, is DX still in school?
I don't think so.
What does he do now? Oh wait,
He's
he didn't he start
unemployed.
a wait, I thought he started this like company. Did he
Yeah,
not?
he said he's an entrepreneur who started his own thing, aka he's fun employed. That was his
Oh,
intro.
fun employed. Oh, that's funny. That's cute. Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Um, so there you go. That was the conversation that everybody on Twitter loved, but Jacob thought was no fun.
Very lukewarm,
Very lukewarm. Jacob Jones, the buzzkill.
basically. I know we're
Yeah.
swapping places. I mean, do people I bet people like if they look at the both of us, they'll say like, oh, Taryn has to be the buzzkill. And Jacob is the fun one. If they just looked, it's really like, oh
You
my
just look
god.
at us. Yeah.
If they just looked at us, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. You just look so fun.
books can be not books can be deceiving. Taryn, I'm done.
Books can be deceiving.
Books can be deceiving, but looks can be even more deceiving.
Yeah. You know, I have to admit, I have some secrets as well, Jacob Jones. You mentioned at the start of this podcast that I have some more sort of energy, that you've been admiring
Wait,
it.
let me get my notebook out. Hold
I
on.
did, yes. I did. I stole it from you. I did a ritual. I consulted with Colin the energy vampire, and I just kind of sucked it away. And so now you're no fun, and I'm just really fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome to the update this morning. Today is day 12. Well, today Big D said this time.
I'm telling you now because there's nothing you can do about it. I'm sorry, but you're just forever not fun anymore.
Wow, Taryn, I expect this energy to really kick in. Okay, like I want to instead of when people. Okay, so guys, when y'all look on the Sunday night recaps and on the Thursday night recaps and on the Wednesday night recaps, I guess every recap episode recap, and when Rob does the music, Taryn can no longer just dance like this. Taryn now has to dance like me, which is dancing like this.
Like the Flappy Wind guy.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I don't know if I'm on the podcast tomorrow night, but hold on. Am I? I'm
Are
not.
you?
I'm on Thursday. When I'm on Thursday, for the spoiler song, I'll be the Flappy Wind guy.
Perfect. And give a little wink and a little like,
There are going to be people that don't listen to the update. They're going to be like, "What is he
what?
doing?"
It's Taran Armstrong. Like, nah, he just got the energy of Jacob Jones. Now, child, y'all better get ready for it. This is Taran. This is Jaren 2.0, baby,
Yeah.
and y'all ain't ready for it.
All right. Derek is going to talk with Tiffany. He wonders if he should use the pitch. He's like, should I pitch against Kyland or not? Because do I have his vote or not? Should I pitch that like those four are going to work together and that I am gunning for them? He's thinking about that. That's what he's thinking he might end up doing here for his pitch. Tiffany also talks to Azza, and this for me was probably the most important conversation of the day, and that is because Tiffany continues to work on Azza against Xavier and the guys in general. She says to Azza, "We can't take any of these guys to the end. You know that, right? Like they're all winning." And Azza agrees. It needs to be the three women in the end. So starting to shape up like, can Tiffany pull Azza? Because this is really what we're looking at here in terms of, end game actual strategy once people actually start getting self-interested again. And it is starting to look like, Kyland is a big target once they hit 6. And it's starting to look like could Tiffany go for Xavier? And what happens if they do take out Kyland first? Where do things go from there? Does Xavier then have a good chance of running it down? Can Xavier survive a week from 6 where he's not immune? It's interesting. It's an interesting layout here. Tiffany is not quite out of it here yet, as she does continue to work on Azza. She just needs to not screw it up.
Which she has been doing, like she's been doing a good job at it since their reconciliation when Xavier was the mediator last week. And so it's like really good to see. But I just want to commend the relationship between Oz and Hannah, because at the beginning, Oz was like, nah, Hannah's the first one out. She's not even really in the cookout. We can't even mention it to her. So now wanting to possibly go to Final 3 with her. And Hannah also last night pointed this out to, I believe, Derek X, about like who's the person most likely to win, and she said Xavier. And so I feel like that may put a little more eyes on Hannah. Even though when DX leaves, Hannah really doesn't have that much influence. She kind of just like is partaking within the ride that is Tiffany. But I do think with Hannah, with that being on the top of Hannah's mind, Xavier being most likely to win, she could possibly drop little seeds, and then hopefully that will sprout into something beautiful, which we will have Tiffany and Hannah. I don't see that's Oz's man, so we know Oz ain't going for it. Maybe.
I don't know. I said it at the time that Xavier did a great job mediating between the two of them, but he may come to regret it because now Tiffany is using that rekindled relationship to work against Xavier. And I would not be overly surprised if she manages to succeed at least a little bit. I mean, for as much as Azza is like not in the game, she still is somebody that thought she would be. Like she talked about it last night. She was like, "You guys are speculating about all this stuff. I thought I'd be one of those people, but I'm in here just like, I don't know, just taking it week to week."
We can tell, sis.
And she did mention, again, the day before to Big D that, maybe they should keep Derek around to go after some of the stronger guys in the cookout. It's something that she is thinking about. It seems like Tiffany is getting through to her. And it's like, Xavier, I don't know if that was the right call exactly to help facilitate this.
Yeah, I guess you can say that too, but I mean, you can also see points on why you would want, and you even made this point on why you would want your allies to be together. And you said someone really did a great job at this, because typically people in mindsets in Big Brother is, okay, I want you close to me and I don't want you close to that person. So they really try to drive a wedge in between relationships. And I believe you said Cody was really good at having his allies work together, or just having them like
maintaining the
Man.
balance of working together, but still primarily with you.
Okay, so the primarily part is where Xavier is kind of lacking at this point.
Yeah, and I actually compared Xavier doing this to when Danny told Bailey, "Hey, Tyler actually really like stumped for you, and he really like got Bailey to trust Tyler, which allowed Tyler and Bailey to come together when they couldn't before and complain about Danny." So you got to be careful about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You want a small like base layer of like trust and or dislike that you are the bridge holding them together. What you don't want is to be like, it's basically, feed a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats. He can get as many fish as he wants. I don't know the actual saying.
Yeah, you did it right.
You want to only give your allies the fish. You don't want to teach them to fish. You want them to rely on you. So that's the difference there. So let's see. Kylan is going to talk with Alyssa, or Alyssa's going to talk with Kylan. And this was just one of those conversations that's just a little embarrassing. So I'm going to talk about it. She says, Kylan, I'm not book smart, but I'm really street smart. I know what's going on. I can read people. I know people. I see what's going on in this house. I know that Derek X is a liar. I know that he's got nothing to offer me. Can you believe how many people in this house, they think they know what's going on? They're not even playing their own game. They're just, they can't even think for themselves. There's other people are thinking for them, and they're just making decisions based on bad information. They don't even know what's happening. Can you believe these people, Kylan? Kylan's like, no.
The face palm when the finale happens, and then there's a montage of the cookout and all of them getting played. Whew, child.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of speculation about Xavier and what he does over the course of the night. He's getting increasingly frustrated with this. It's one of those things where it's like, Xavier is upset that people are not believing his lies, basically.
That's the most frustrating. When someone doesn't believe your lies, that's more frustrating than someone not believing your truth, in my opinion.
Really?
I think so. Like, if you lie, you like concoct this big plan, this big elaborate plan where you're thinking that you're smarter than that person or, the people. And so when that doesn't work, you're like, damn, I could have just told them the truth and we wouldn't be in this position. So I feel like it's more frustrating when someone doesn't believe your lies after you put in work to convince them of such. But even though it's not really convincing when all you say in your introductory is, oh yeah, I'm a model and I bartend. And so it's like you just stating the fact, quote unquote facts. But
yeah, I think I get more frustrated when people don't believe me when I'm telling the truth.
Really?
Because it's the truth.
I mean, but like you can take the truth home and like cash that. You know what I mean?
I guess so.
And so, but like that will never change. Like, but like the lies, it's not.
Because like if somebody doesn't believe a lie that I'm telling, it's like, well, fair. It was a lie actually. After all.
Yeah, it is the fair comment as well, but it is the damn you annoying.
I guess the difference is that if somebody doesn't believe your lie, then that's on you. That's on the person telling the lie. If somebody doesn't believe the truth, that's on them. And so it's like if I've failed, then like okay, that's fine. But if they're failing, then it's like what's on? Come on.
Taran psychology 101, baby. Let's go. I think that's 1000% true. And you take it. Maybe it's a pride thing since it's like on you, but yeah.
All right. So Claire is gonna talk with Hannah and Azza. Big D is gonna come in and out as well. They're just talking about they're again speculating. This is when Azza was talking about like you guys are doing things. Claire basically predicts the timing of the triple eviction that we assume is coming. And she says, because of Xavier's third nominee punishment, we're not going to get a double next week. There's not going to be a third nominee during a double eviction. So that means that next week will be normal. And then the week after that, because if he wins HOH, he has to be a third nominee the following week, which means the following week also can't be a double, which means it has to be probably from like 7 down to 5 or something like that for the double, which is pretty much spot on, except it's a triple. And she says, although it could be a triple. So she is very nearly there, as these things aren't that difficult to predict. And she says, I will say though, it doesn't seem like they've thought everything through. Honestly, I was asking them about how like the third nominee interacts with the coin of destiny, and it didn't seem like they had a prepared answer for me. And Hannah says, and this was I think very funny. Hannah says, "Well, I think they just do what America wants, right? Like last season, everyone was just over it because they didn't care. It was such a boring season. They didn't care about anybody left in the house after Devon left, so they just did a triple eviction to speed everything up." And Claire was like, "I don't think that's how it works." She's like, no, I think that's how it works. Claire, come on, I know these things. So I wonder how she'll react if there is a triple eviction once they get down to basically just the cookout.
She let it think America hates them. Oh my God, that'd be sad.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the day here, Jacob. Anything else that you wanted to bring up?
I'm very scruffy today.
It's looking pretty well maintained.
Hey, I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah. I'm letting it grow for a season of life. But no, I think yesterday it was a chill day. I feel like we may have a chill day, or we just may get DX campaigning and people just shooting smoke up his ass. And so
pretty much,
or we can get that little 5% that you said, and we can possibly see some stuff going down. But yeah. You said less than that.
I said less than, yeah. Less than 5%.
Okay, 3. Less than that. Okay.
Keep going. Yeah, I don't expect much to change here over the next few days. But it would be funny if things changed while Xavier's in solitary.
Wait, does he go into solitary today?
I don't think so. I think that'll be tomorrow.
Okay. Dang, I would freak out. Well, honestly, though, in this house, I feel like because I need some type of separation, especially if I'm around someone 24/7. So it may be good, but I'll also be like, what? Like, I don't know. I'll just be freaking out, TBH.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, Hannah talks to Kylan some more about Big D and complaining about him, and. Tiffany talks to Claire about like giving her sort of like some instructions on how to campaign and stuff as she continues to move forward. But things are pretty quiet again here. That's basically what we've got for the day. Things looking pretty locked in as we move forward for the rest of the week. We will have a roundtable tonight. We will be rating these players. From 1 to 10, and it'll be an interesting one.
What did you give Azza last week?
Oh boy.
If it's anything like, I remember one week you really tried her, and I was on there, and I was like, Taran, a 4, and I gave her a 5, and it was only 1 point extra. But
let's see here. You gave Azza a 4,
and what you gave her, a 3?
I gave her a 3, and then last week I gave her a 4.
Taran, last week?
Yeah.
This week, you coming up.
I'm coming up?
Yes.
All right. We'll see.
Taran, Taran.
We'll see.
You will be getting a very angry message.
I am an Azza empathizer. How dare you?
But Azza also deserves to come up. I won't let you reveal your score now, but Taran, I know you know.
All right.
Okay. Don't word it like that.
You'll have to tune in tonight to see if Jacob is going to be sending me an angry message later tonight. So you can find the survey. You can rate these players. You can give Azza a 4 or a 5 if you want. By finding the survey,
or a 7 or 8 or 9 or 10
on Twitter @Armstrong Taran. You can fill it out yourself. We'll be going over it tonight. Should be a lot of fun. You can also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. And Jacob, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter, so all social media at JacobJ_Jones. Very simple. And yeah. Wait,
And
Terry,
yeah.
also, it's my 7th-month anniversary for your Twitch channel.
Oh boy.
I know.
That's awesome. That's thank you so much, Jacob Jones.
Of course.
How have you enjoyed being a subscriber to my Twitch channel?
Well, I feel exuberant. I'm joking. I feel good. I like watching your content. I do wish you would play more video games though, because I know you used to play that game. I think it was Star Wars or Star Trek that I used to like seeing. You used to play Portals, which I used to really like seeing as well. And so, that's like when you're chilling on your couch with the little extended mic and you're just like, and so maybe you should get into Sims.
I don't know about Sims, but we'll
Have you
get back
tried
to
it?
I don't think I've actually played Sims. No,
Don't count it
but I've
out.
seen people play it.
I play it. I haven't played it in a while, but I play it.
What are you doing with your life, Jacob Jones? Why aren't you playing Sims?
Taryn, after I hop off here, I'm about to.
Okay, there you go. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us here today. I'll see you all next time.